Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. One way to determine if your actions have an effect on the opposition, enemy, or in general is obviously to observe the reaction and to make sure that your assessment of your enemy or the person you want to have an effect on is accurate. Because sometimes, obviously, the other side will fake a certain kind of reaction because that's the way you do it. You fake it or you overemphasize it. It depends on the circumstances. But let's say you reach the correct assessment and conclusion on the enemy's reaction. If the reaction is aggressive or it is, very loud, that means desperation over there. That means really you touched a nerve. That happens in your arguments with your significant other as well. So in this case, we have Ukraine reacting to certain kind of statements made by leaders of the good world, from the good people. And when I say Ukraine, I'm talking about Zelensky. So based on Zelensky's reaction to the President of France, Emmanuel Macron, you can at least have a better understanding that these guys, in this case Zelensky, is very tensed, doesn't want any little bit of dissent among the free and good people fighting the bad people of Russia. So look at this article. And this article is Zelensky's reaction to something that Emmanuel Macron said yesterday. He's already at it. So the Telegraph must be true. This is the free world. This is the good people. This is today. The day is the 20th of February. Says Macron, and I'm quoting, wasting his time, end quote, over dialogue with Putin. Volodymyr Zelensky censors French counterpart over trying to end war through diplomacy and not military victory. So this reaction is coming from yesterday's statement. I covered that. I covered the Macron statements made yesterday together separately, but they were like a coordinated statement made by Macron, the president of France, and Peter Pavel is his name, the newly elected Czech president, who said that don't try to humiliate Russia. There's going to be a bad thing. Let's talk about it. And if you, let's say, destroy Russia, what are you going to work with? Who are those people? Who you're going to have to work with? Are going to be your people? How many Russia will be then? How many, one Russia, five Russia? How is going to break in pieces, idiots leading each piece of whatever is it's splintered into. So yesterday I made this little video here, and in this video I said, because I know how these weasels are working, I said that by tomorrow, which is today, the Macron will be attacked for whatever he said, and the Czech president will be attacked, and probably they will walk back on their statement. So this is the video from yesterday, the 19th of February 2023. Fractured West, Macron crushing Russia will never be France's position. Czech president said the same thing, a little bit with a different nuance. And I said these guys are going to jump on Macron and Pavel like vultures, like crazy. Not even 12 hours, I think, after those statements, or I covered it, and here you have it. That tells me this fast reaction coming from Zelensky means no dissent allowed. So no dissent allowed, and I have, if you remember, another article when Emmanuel Macron said the same thing a year ago, almost a year ago, and again the next day he was attacked for whatever he said. So let's go back to that article. I found it. It comes from Al Jazeera. You can't find it only in Al Jazeera, you can find it in many others, but this article is from a long time. It's from 4th of July 2022. This is the title. Ukraine slams Macron's remarks not to humiliate Russia. Ukraine says President Emmanuel Macron's comments about not humiliating Russia can only humiliate France. So they attacked this guy for saying whatever that was not admitted among the free world, supposedly. Ukraine has denounced French President Emmanuel Macron after he suggested it is imperative that Russia is not humiliated in its war to keep the door open for good diplomatic relations between the West and Moscow whenever the conflict ends. Macron's comments raised the ire of Kiev, which slammed the French president's position. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba, below 86 IQ but with a lot of hatred, said bluntly the comments, and I'm quoting, can only humiliate France. So remember, that was then, and this is now the same reaction to France's stand. Now, France after that, after July 4th comments, or whenever that happened in July, they immediately backpedaled, and said, oh, actually, we didn't, they didn't stand up like France and say, you know what, we are France here. We're not weasels like Romania, for instance. And we don't care what is, who the hell are you now, telling us what we should think, what we should do. Well, the problem is, it's not them who tells France. It's someone else who tells France, hey, France, we are the good people. If you think otherwise, that somehow Russia might have, something else to say, that makes you a bad person, because Russia is the bad country right here. So anything that you say in favor of that will turn you over there, which you will be the enemy. This is how it works here. Like in the Middle Ages, if you would say something about certain kind of, you would be right there and everybody will watch you burn. And don't you like that firewood smoke? Yes. So that's how it would be. In this case, that tells me how tough Macron is. I'm waiting during the day today, Macron to show up and say, mea culpa, that's actually not what I mean. Or, indeed, it's a big fracture into the world of the good, among the good people, where some people are turning bad, like the Czechs, like many others that are really, and Germany too, are really held in, with their little leashes. Come back here, you come back here. What about you come back here? And this is how the coalition stays united. So when they say, Stoltenberg, the chief of NATO, oh, Putin miscalculated, he made NATO more united. I don't think so. Because you can see here who's who, what's what. And you see that's only one, Zimbabwe across Atlantic, who is the only one who pushes everybody in one direction. And it has the power, the influence, to make the other ones to be united, if you know what I mean. Come back here, come back here. That's how it works. And you have these sleazeballs, as what's his name would call them, being over there, pointing the finger at the French president, and the French president running for cover. And this is would be the third time when I see Macron. The second one was when he was called out by another Kuleba or Reznikov or Zelensky, when Macron was speaking with Putin almost every day. Hey, what's going on? Don't do this, blah, 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 blah. And the same sleazeballs over there, called Macron out. Again, those guys that you didn't know before this, that they exist over there. That's a country, and who the hell are those? I don't know, some over there, some Russians over there. Okay, you know the difference between Ukrainians and Russians. But anyway, now it's very important. All those guys are so important. Without them, we can't have sex anymore. We can't watch TV. You can't go and do your groceries. You can't take care of your kids. Because this is the most important thing that we have to put inside our lives. Well, no, I refuse to do that, just so you know. So I continue doing what I do best. But before that, let me have a little video here with you guys. So Macron said he responded to the accusations coming from these guys. Why do you talk to Putin? Why do you have to talk to Putin every day? You know, by what? by stopping communicating with Putin for a month and a half. And then he started talking with Putin again with Olaf Scholz together, because courage is in packs, not solitary. So when they had to kind of like, oh, we've got to talk with Putin as Europe together, that's how he dared contact Putin again. Not alone, with Scholz to discuss something with Putin under that format. So what does that tell you? That tells you that Macron is not strong. Macron cannot, there are forces behind that would crush Macron if Macron is not going to stand united willingly. And you have those weasels over there doing the job of those forces, and they just, is, how should I put it? In concentration camps and any kind of camp, in prison, you have the guards. Now, the guards don't know anything about anything. All they know is that they have to make sure that you don't go that way past this fence. That's all they need to know. So they stay over there. That's all they need to know. Okay? So these guys, by staying over there, they represent the big forces that created the prison, created the camp, or whatever, the concentration camp or whatever. Those are the guys over there. So when the prisoners are over there, they're dealing with this guy. But for them, this is the authority. This is the guy. Like, he has the power. He has no power. He has just a gun, making sure that you don't get out. The real decision was made somewhere else. The bigger forces are somewhere else. The same here with Ukraine. When Ukraine yells at Macron and say, Macron, you're a dumbass, Macron is not scared because of Ukraine, of the guard that has the temporary power to do something. No, he knows better that he's not the guard, but he's the guys in Berlin, or he's guys in Washington, D.C., or wherever the penitentiary system is created, or the summer camps. All right? So in this case, the same here. Macron is not scared of Zelensky per se, or Ukraine. He doesn't give up about that. I guarantee you. He cares about other things behind that we might not figure them out. We know they are over there. We know they are, because this is another example. And I'm waiting for Macron to come back and say, sorry, I didn't mean that. What I meant, no, we know exactly what you meant, but it seems like you, from time to time, you just, like a fish that you take and you cut its head and you leave it, it's dead, but then from time to time just jerks a little bit more. Why? Because the nerves are still active over there and they react to the sensation. That's what it is. That's what Macron is. From time to time he's, but he's dead. I mean, he's dead by anyway. But he's the most intelligent guy from all these good people, like Biden, Blinken, Truss, Maharishi Sunak, Baerbock. He's the smartest, if you can believe that. And he is. But I don't think he's this, though. But sometimes, or not sometimes, because you see the four ancient virtues, the Greek virtues, the first virtue was courage. That was the first one listed. And then it was temperance and wisdom and moderation and whatever. The four. This was the first one. Why? Because without that, you would not act. Without courage. So you can be wise, you can be moderate. Without courage, that means just... And besides, you have to be courageous to be moderate. You have to be courageous to be smart. Why? Look right now, getting your information and having conversations with other people around you, and gathering information. How do you gather information? You ask questions, you look into it. But if you're just in a little chamber over there, and if you ask the wrong question, you get attacked, you have the courage to smack that person back. Or at least, hey, let's discuss. Let's see your argument. But Macron here, he doesn't have that, I think. He just runs away like a little female dog. All right, so this is it. I'm waiting for Macron's statement and clarification. And you see the attitude of Zelensky, who's afraid of the slightest dissent. Well, I'm used to that in the communist times. No dissent, nothing. So this guy, Zelensky, showed so much authoritarianism that it's unbelievable. He's not a lover of democracy and freedom of speech, and now he has to be like this because it's no, the evil Russians attack the good us. It's not that. It's not that. These signs, you can see them before that. Anyway, you didn't have to ban some religious denomination for a few guys. You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to ban certain political parties. You didn't have to ban certain languages used in school and limited all kind of. You didn't have to arrest so many collaborators. Like a purge. To me, it sounds like a purge. You don't have to do that. And not only that, it's more than that. He's basically ruling like a king because Ukraine is still under martial law, which is. Anyway, and if you think that those people are just good like us, you don't have to look further than look at Germany. Germany was a good, good people until the bad guy somehow got everybody to be bad at one point. How is that possible? Because right now they're pointing at Germany, like German nation being guilty. How did you support that crazy guy in the 30s and 40s? So you must be good, must be guilty. How come before the 1933, they were all good? Once they started voting for these idiots, they were all bad. Overnight they changed or something from good to bad. For tards, that argument works just fine. And besides, that's taught in college, in university. And you have 19, 18, 20, they don't know. Anyway, they show up over there and they talk with a 70-year-old communist guy over there who tells you what to do and what to understand. You don't have enough information at that age to counter that weasel. Including you don't have the social skills to say, excuse me, sir, I think you're bullshitting here. Oh my God. So, but some others who go to college some other time, if you go to a master's degree or a PhD, but you don't get that far. If you have a little bit of, this is the script. If you go a little bit off script, you're not going to be getting a PhD in social science. Anyway, you don't believe me? Well, you don't have. You try. If you have a little bit of, you have one question and you raise that question in public, you will not be picked to have a mentor. You will not have anybody to support you to get you to follow the PhD and whatever you want to follow. Believe me, and I say believe me because I know. How do I know? I had some experiences. Let's put it this way, and other conversations with people within. When we're gonna meet in person, I can tell you all that. All right. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, no dissent. Look for the truth and be just.